Hi boys and girls, welcome to lesson 18, concept development lesson. We are going to be using the distributive property of multiplication to decompose numbers, and we're going to use number bonds to do that. So we're going to work on the distributive property. Everybody say that, distributive property. Excellent. So if I have the multiplication fact 7 times 3, which I have right here, we can break this down. If we have an array, we can break this down into two smaller multiplication facts. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So we actually have 5 threes. And this is how you're going to break down your facts. And then down at the bottom, we have 2 threes. So 5 plus 2 equals 7. And the unit that we're talking about is threes. And then we rewrite these decomposed numbers as multiplication facts. So that would be 5 times 3. We have 5 threes. And 2 times 3. Now, if we look on the next slide, we can see it broken down. There we have 5 times 3 and 2 times 3. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to solve those multiplication facts. So we're going to fill in 5 times 3 plus 2 times 3 equals, if we add those two together, we get our 7 times 3, which is our unit right now. The next thing we do is we multiply those. So now we have an easy fact of 5 times 3 plus our easy fact of 2 times 3, which is 6. And now we add those two together and we get 21. And you can see that here. So we multiply those together, our easier facts. They're a little bit easier than knowing our 7 times tables maybe. And boys and girls, you might know 7 times 3 is 21. This strategy, we're going to practice it now, is going to help you later on when you're doing some harder problems. So here's another problem, 10 times 3. Well, how many threes do we have here? We have 10 of them. So let's break it apart. If we take 10 threes, here's our 10 threes, we can break it apart into 6 threes and 4 threes because 6 plus 4 equal our 10. And so 6 times 3 plus 4 times 3 should equal our original problem of 10 times 3. And then when we solve these, we get 6 times 3 is 18. 4 times 3 is 12. Add those together and we get 30. Let's do some practice together, boys and girls. I want you to get out your lesson 18 homework pages and we're going to practice together. So stop the video if you need to. Get your lesson 18 homework pages 3.1. And what we're going to do, it says match here in the directions. So we're going to look at this first apple, and it's telling us we have 7 tens in all. They broke that down into 5 tens and 2 tens. So let's look down here at our buckets to see where do we have 5 tens. Well, here I have 5 fours, 5 threes, 5 tens. Oh! I think that might be a winner. The other one is 2 tens, and I have 2 tens there, so that is a match. Next, we have 8 fours. We have 5 fours and 3 fours, and that is the very first one. See if you can do the next one. 9 tens. They broke that down into 6 plus 3, which gives us 9. And each of our units is tens. So where do we have 6 tens plus 3 tens at the bottom? This one. Last, we have 7 threes in all. They broke that down into 5 threes and 2 threes. Right here, we have 5 times 3 plus 2 times 3 equals 21. Let's go down here to this one, boys and girls. And there can be more than one way to solve these. So we're looking at 9 times 4. Some of you might already know that because you learned 4 times 9. But we're going to break it down. So if I have 9 times 4, I want to break that 9 down into 2 numbers that are easier to work with. So I'm going to use 5 4s, and you have to write in there. And 5 plus something equals 9. It's 4. So I have 4 4s over here. Now I'm going to fill in my distributive property. So I have 5 times 4 and 4 times 4, and that's equal to our 9 times 4. Now we need to break this down and multiply each of those. 5 times 4, I remember that's one of our facts, one of our first facts we learned is 20. And 4 times 4, I don't really remember what that is, so I'm going to skip count until I have 4 fingers up, and I'm going to skip count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16. So that is 16. 20 plus 16 equals 36. So 9 times 4 equals 36. Again, boys and girls, you might say, but Mrs. Goshard, I know what 9 times 4 is. This is teaching us how to break down harder problems so that when we get to harder problems, we can do them easily. Let's try some problem solving. Let's read number 3 together. Here we go. Lydia makes 10 pancakes. She tops each pancake with 4 blueberries. How many blueberries does Lydia use in all? Use the break apart and distribute strategy and draw a number bond to solve. So there's a couple of key words in these directions. They want us to use the break apart and distribute strategy, okay? And we have to draw a number bond. So Lydia makes 10 pancakes. Each pancake has 4 blueberries on it. We want to know how many blueberries in all. So if I have 10 pancakes times 4 blueberries on each pancake, that is going to give me the number of blueberries in all. So now we're going to break down that 10, because that might be a big number for us to work with, into smaller units. So I'm going to use 5 4s, and over here 5 plus something equals 10. It's 5. I'm going to use 5 4s again. We do need to know some of our addition facts to do this, don't we? Okay. So now I'm going to use the distribute because I broke it apart. We did break apart, and now we're going to distribute. So 5 times 4 plus 5 times 4 should equal our 10 times 4. Take a moment and write that down so when you do your problem set, you have a good example to follow. 5 times 4 is equal to 20, plus 5 times 4 is equal to 20. 20 plus 20 equals 40. So 10 times 4 equals 40. And my answer then is Lydia uses 40 blueberries in all. If you need to pause the video to copy this down, please do. And your work should look exactly like mine. So this is what the first line should look like. This is what the second line should look like, and what the third line should look like. If you turn your work in and it does not look like that, I will send it back to you. Let's look at number 4. Stephen solves 7 times 3 using the break apart and distribute strategy. Show an example of what Stephen's work might look like below. Well, Stephen is going to write 7 times 3 in a number bond. He's going to break apart the 7. I'm going to use 4 and 3. 4 plus 3 equals 7. So 4 3s. You know what? Did we just do this on the other page? 4. Yeah, we're good. 4 3s plus 3 3s. So 4 plus 3 equals 7. And now I'm going to do 4 times 3. I multiply each of those plus 3 times 3 equals our 7 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 times 3 is 9. 12 plus 9 is equal to 21. So 7 times 3 equals 21. Again, copy your work down and make sure that each line looks exactly like mine. Last, boys and girls, let's read number 5. There are 7 days in 1 week. How many days are there in 10 weeks? Okay, so if we know there are 7 days in 1 week, to get the number of days in 10 weeks, we're going to multiply. Notice these are all multiplication problems. Let's break this down. Up here, to break down 7, I used 4 and 3. Down here, I want to show you another example. So I'm going to use 5 tens and 2 tens because 5 plus 2 equals 7. Next, I'm going to write each of these as a multiplication problem. 5 times 10 and put it in parentheses plus 2 times 10 should equal my 7 times 10 that I started with. We're just breaking that down. Now we multiply each of these. 5 times 10 is 50, plus 2 times 10 is 20, which equals 70. So 7 times 10 equals 70. And really it should say 70 days. Up here we should say 21, he just broke that apart, so 70 days. Just to be complete, you can write a sentence. There are 70 days in 10 weeks. Boys and girls, you're going to do your problem set later on, and I want you to use your homework pages and these problems that we did together as good examples and models for you to follow. Good luck.